How does active versus passive voice affect news reporting? Imagine reading a news story that feels lively and clear versus one that sounds distant or confusing. The way sentences are structured makes a big difference. In news reporting, choosing between active and passive voice can change how your story is understood and how responsible the story seems. Active voice puts the focus on who is doing what. For example, the police arrested the suspect clearly shows who took action. This makes the story straightforward and easy to follow. It also helps readers see who is responsible, which is important for accountability. Active sentences are often shorter and more engaging, keeping readers interested. Passive voice, on the other hand, shifts the focus to the action or the result. For example, the suspect was arrested by the police emphasizes the event more than the people involved. Journalists often use passive voice when the person who performed the action is unknown or not important. It also helps keep the story neutral, especially in sensitive situations like political or legal reports. Headlines sometimes use passive voice to be brief and to sound objective. From a copy editing point of view, editors prefer active voice because it makes stories clearer and more responsible. But they also recognize that passive voice has its place. When the actor is unknown or when the focus should be on the event itself, passive voice can be useful. The key is to balance both voices carefully. Overusing passive voice can make stories seem vague or evasive, which is not good for transparency. For journalists and editors, it's best to use active voice to assign responsibility clearly and make stories more lively. Use passive voice when the actor is not known or when neutrality is needed. Always remember that too much passive voice can hide who is responsible, which can confuse readers or reduce trust. Headlines often use passive voice to keep things short and neutral, but they should never hide important details about who is responsible. Understanding when and how to use active or passive voice helps keep news stories accurate, fair, and easy to understand. It's a simple tool that makes a big difference in how stories are told and received. When editing, always ask yourself if the sentence clearly shows who is responsible and if it keeps the story engaging. This way, your news reporting stays honest and clear for everyone.